We got to let him do his. Hello, welcome to the Roundtable discussing the NFL draft. I'm your host Eric, joined by Fineran today. Hope everybody's doing great, and I know we're aggravating Ryan, and that's kind of the point right now, as he's not joining us on this pre-draft special. Let's go over today. NFL draft less than a week away. This is the heart of misinformation season.
Yeah, right.
And we're going to go over everything you need to know for Thursday night in the NFL draft.
I'll tell you right now, I'm a little confused. I'm a little thrown off. I'm not sure kind of what's going on with this whole this particular draft, because I know we need defense.
Sure.
I know we want a running back. I just don't know what our best options are. So, Eric, I'm coming to you for help today.
Okay.
I need your help. I think there's fans out there that are really interested in this, that are just kind of lost in the mix of all these players, and like, why would we go for defensive line over, the safety from Alabama? Like, I understand that he's not, as wanted or needed, but I'll tell you right now, having a young kid like that in your secondary,
how you guys doing today?
That can help.
Just wanted to throw that up there.
What's up, football rods? We're doing a show.
Yeah, we're here
just the Eagles draft.
Yeah.
So essentially, what we're gonna do is I'm going to play I'm not really acting, but the ignorant fan role, and just ask Eric some questions. This guy knows Eagles like no one you've ever talked to. He knows scores of games from 15 years ago. He's just a wealth of knowledge. So I just need some help, and Eric's here to help me.
And last night, sitting at home, I just happened to throw together a mock draft.
Sweet.
And it's just, one of the things I like to do on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Don't grow old, people. My dad tried to tell me that when I was younger. Yeah, that's my Saturday. Saturday nights used to be go out, have fun, with the guys, and never try to pick up girls. I never did that stuff. But I'm a married man now, so I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But instead, last night I sat at home, sat in my recliner, and put together a mock draft.
Nice.
So we're gonna run through that, and you know what? I want you to stop me anytime you have any kind of question.
All right. Essentially, what we're gonna do right now is kind of have Eric go through his mock draft. I'll make some comments on what I've heard, what I've seen, in articles and things that I've read. And then I will stop you if there's a question about essentially, like, why is this team in need of this, or are they just bolstering for the future or anything like that?
Well, I will say, hold your excitement until Thursday. That's when the draft is. But yeah, I'm with you on the excitement level for the draft.
Yeah, every night I'm sure they're going to have some.
Yeah, there will be a mock draft. I know NFL Network has a big mock draft on Wednesday night.
Yeah. So, I think all football fans are excited around this time because your team has a chance to upgrade a position in which obviously is a need, and it's a young talent. And you're not sure, you get to follow this guy and through his life.
And I know we talk about it a lot on our show, where we say, to a lot of people, the draft is bigger than the Super Bowl because every team's involved in the draft. Whereas,
and you're all undefeated at this
point. Yeah. And optimism is so big right now. Everybody's hoping that they're going to get the guy that's going to push them to the next level and push them to a Super Bowl contender. And look, the Eagles a year ago, a lot of people would say we didn't get a single starter from last year's draft. At least nobody that started on last year's team, and they didn't.
But Jordan Davis, right?
Yeah, but Jordan Davis didn't really he didn't start at the beginning of the year.
But he played more than Jacoby Dean. He played more.
Well, everybody I think played more than Jacoby Dean, unfortunately.
Which was a
which was
fantastic problem to have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not because of any problem that Kobe Dean had. It was more just how great they were at the linebacker
Let's
position.
put a pin in that as
Yes.
well, because that's a position I would love to talk to you about.
Sure.
But Eric, we've let the people listen to this blabber long enough.
Okay.
I want to hear what the number 1 overall pick is. Can you do it a little Roger Goodell style?
With
or maybe a better
commissioner
you
style.
would be a better commissioner.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But yeah, just
with the first overall pick, the Carolina Panthers have traded into the number 1 pick with the Chicago Bears, and they've selected Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama.
No questions there.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a few quarterbacks in the first, I'm guessing, top 5 picks.
There will be 3 of the first 4 picks.
Yeah. So, obvious need here for Carolina. Hopefully they got their guy.
Yeah.
The style of quarterback is tough for me. I mean, I love – we'll talk about that in a minute as well.
We will definitely – I want to bring this up to give everybody – we'll discuss this rumor. Yeah.
But back to the draft really quick. Obvious need for Carolina. And,
and that's why they move up to this pick.
Yeah. The style of quarterback, I have that – obviously high hopes because Jalen Hurts is that style of quarterback.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing, how much of it's a copycat league. Everybody's looking for their Jalen Hurts.
Well, I don't think that you can find that type of guy. I will have to say, so, going back to, 2 years ago?
Right.
The draft where we didn't selected Jalen Hurts, we kind of knew what he was because everybody knew who he was from college and just a highly touted athlete. But then he fell very far in the draft. Like, he would be number 1 then.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, in a heartbeat.
Hands down, yeah.
And that's just college. I'm not talking about having an eye into the future and seeing what he is today. I'm saying at this, if he was
at what he was at in college,
correct,
if he were coming out now, he'd be the number 1 pick. I agree with that.
So I guess this is not the best quarterback draft class, would you say?
I would say it's deeper than being given credit for.
Okay.
I think there are some good starters in this draft, including the guy who I have coming off number 2 to the Houston Texans.
Good segue.
And that's C.J. Stroud. There's been a lot of smoke and mirrors the last week or so that, the Texans aren't going to take a quarterback. It's all BS, man. Like, they are lying to you. This is like the song
if you're not going
heard
to
it
have
through the grapevine
team,
right?
To bring a good quarterback over, you have to get it in the draft.
Yeah,
it's simple.
And look, and people I've heard all this stuff about how D'Amico Ryans, he was the defensive coordinator for San Francisco, where they had Brock Purdy. Look, I think he's smart enough to know Brock Purdy's don't grow on trees, and they were very fortunate. It's not like Brock Purdy was the plan going into last year for the 49ers. They stumbled into it.
NFC playoff games.
Yeah.
Against the Eagles.
So to me, this has got to be C.J. Stroud. That's the pick here.
Yeah.
Number 3, Arizona Cardinals. I have Will Anderson, the best player in this draft, going 3. I know. If only the Saints have sucked a little more.
Yeah, there's no way we could possibly acquire him.
No.
I don't believe so. I know there's talks about, giving both first-round picks up to try and get up there and get him. No,
Arizona's not going to do that. No. You would have to give up more than that.
They need him just as much as we do, and they're not going to give him up. It seems like he's.
Well, think about who else is in that division.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Nick Bosa in that division with San Francisco. Now I know Seattle's pass rush is not great, but the Rams with they just had Von Miller left in free agency a year ago. They have Aaron Donald. They have dominance on the defensive line. Arizona is looking for that themselves, and so that's why I think this has got to be Will Anderson.
Yep, I agree.
Number 4, this is where I'm going with what I'm hearing, not necessarily what I think should be the case. I have Will Levis going here to Indianapolis. Personally, I would go Anthony Richardson, but I think all the tea leaves are saying, man, Indianapolis loves Will Levis, and so that's where they're going.
I like that. All the tea leaves.
I know.
Eric was having tea while doing this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Literally, the leaves just pointed.
They all,
southwest.
yeah, they pointed southwest towards Kentucky, and so I said, well, all right, I guess it's Will Levis.
All right, I like it.
With the 5th pick, I have the Seahawks. They want to get a pass rusher. I gotta believe this is Tyree Wilson.
Yeah,
and
another very talented, very promising young man.
Checks off a lot of boxes for them.
Yeah.
And he's a good plug and play. I'm going to see how many of those hyperboles I can fit into one conversation.
There you go. I like it.
With the 6th pick, I have the Lions. They want a corner. They just got rid of Agba, and after Slay a couple of years ago, leave it. Like, they are short on the defensive backfield.
I think they got a guy that we're familiar with, though, don't they?
Yeah, they did. They did get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's going to be playing safety for them. I think they need a corner there. So I'm going Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois.
This is one that I've heard many times, over and over again. Their secondary was terrible. I mean, they had how many comeback games, just because
they couldn't cover anybody.
So many points.
Right.
So, I mean, right now at this point, selecting him is just bolstering that defense, bolstering that secondary, and everyone says what a pleasure it is to play with CJGJ. So, unfortunately, we saw it.
Oh yeah, no, we know how good he is. Well, right.
Wish we could keep him. Another note that big choice for the Eagles later in the draft. If you wouldn't disagree with me.
Oh, I think they have 2 huge choices in this first round.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, first off, I have the Raiders at 7. This is a good spot where I think if the Eagles want to move up to get this guy, they could. I don't have them doing that here, but I think this is a possibility for a potential move up with the Eagles.
Okay, I like that.
And the guy they'd be moving up to get is Jalen Carter, who I have going off the board here to the Raiders.
Everyone loves Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
That might be...
To me, this is just a matter of the Raiders, the best player on the board, and they can't pass it up.
I think is the best player in the draft.
Okay.
So I think Jalen Carter has the most talent. He has the most upside. I think he's ranked number 1 in his position. So
yeah,
I just think if the Eagles can make that move,
right, if they can move up to 7, they should do that.
For that guy, that's who they're looking for.
And Howie's thing, when he has a top 10 pick, he tends to want to move up to go get a guy.
Yeah.
And whereas he has a later round or later pick, he's all for moving back.
Exactly. And we're all seeing, again, I'll say the tea leaves, but it's just a fact. The Eagles are most likely going to trade back.
They're going to do something here. They're going to either trade back or move. Yeah. I don't think, and I don't have it happening in my mock draft. The Eagles are not going to pick at 10 and 30. I will say there will be movement with the Eagles. So I'll just go with the next 2 picks before I get to the Eagles' 10th pick. And that's Christian Gonzalez, the corner out of Oregon, going to Atlanta at 8. Okay. And I have the guy everybody either wants the Eagles to get or is convinced Chicago is going to get, Peter Skoronski, the tackle out of Northwestern, going 9 to Chicago.
Yeah. So Chicago obviously needs that help. If you're going to have Justin Fields be your running back, essentially.
Right.
I mean, you have to have a powerful offensive line. You saw what Jalen Hurts can do. You saw what our offensive line did for Miles Sanders.
And the big priority in Chicago this offseason has got to be protecting and getting weapons for Justin Fields.
Exactly. He had no one to throw to.
Yeah.
He had to do it all himself, and you're going to have a short career if that's the case.
Yeah. And that's what he's looking at if they don't get somebody to protect him. Now, this is where, I'd like to say...
Have us moving?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is my first, I guess really the only trade I have projected in the first round. And that is the Eagles trading out of number 10 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are looking to go up and get Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida.
Yep.
Florida kid staying at home in Tampa. And look, I think this makes a ton of sense because the Eagles can then lock up the future a little more, get more pick. Because I have, in this trade, I have us getting, so we don't have anything after the 3rd round until the 7th round.
Yeah.
I have us adding a 4th, a 5th, and then a 1 and a 3 in next year's draft, a 2 and a 4 in the following.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
So you're moving up 9 spots. So Tampa's got,
capital for the next year which
Yes.
we already have a ton of draft
Mhm.
capital.
And guess what you can do then next year? Anybody you want, you can move up the board and get.
That's true. It's very true. It's smart. See? I mean, if
Every now
Howie
and
wasn't
then.
so good, I would have
All
this
right.
guy. in
Thankfully,
the
I do think Howie's got a little on me, but
he's been proving himself left and right that he is just the best advocate for this team.
and this is where if Tennessee, I know, would have absolutely. This is where I think we could have gotten into a bidding war between Tennessee and Tampa or some other teams trying to move up. Because I know that in my version, Tennessee would love that. They would love to see Richardson slipping, and they would want to go up and get him.
Okay.
But I have them, since he's now off the board, I have them going Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle out of Georgia.
Yep.
So you can't get your quarterback, at least get somebody to protect your next guy. Yeah.
That's a big boy right there. I like that. Okay.
And
so this is big for Eagles fans to kind of conceptualize and grasp is that these picks are bait essentially.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's a check
And everything feeds off of the previous one.
Yeah.
So like in this case, if the Eagles were to have stayed at 10 and taken whoever, then that means Tennessee's probably running up there to draft Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
And they have their next quarterback. Now they would look at it and say, okay, they're the 4 quarterback options that are legit, like going to start day one. Like they're all off the board. And so if I'm Tennessee, what I'm then thinking is, okay, well, we already have Malik Willis. We already have Ryan Tannehill. Why don't we see if we have the answer at quarterback there? And if not, we'll roll into next year's draft and try and get our quarterback.
Do you see if Carter is possibly available that we keep our pick because he's
Okay.
Okay.
If Jalen Carter were to slip to 10, I don't think we make that move.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart move. So my question that I tabled for earlier was at 10. Is someone like Branch? Yes.
Yeah, Brian Branch.
From Alabama, a reach if you get him at 10.
At 10, I think that is a reach. I think that is an absolute reach at 10. The problem is, he's a reach at 10, and it's really wishful thinking to hope he makes it to 30.
Oh, I think he's gone for 30. That's why I say, is he the type of talent? Is he the difference maker that you want? Because obviously safety is a huge priority for us this year as well.
Well, you would like to think so. But look at the Eagles' draft history and look at just the history of their organization, with the exception of Brian Dawkins. Can you name me another good safety? I mean, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he was nice, and he was a one-year answer, but
it's one of those positions that we would do something kind of like what we did with A.J. Brown. Like, you just hear and the Eagles have traded their pick for top name safety.
All right.
You know what I mean? So that I agree.
But I don't think they invest a lot in scouting safeties.
Yeah.
I think what they look for the finished product at the safety and say, okay, let's just go get that guy.
Okay. So in your mock draft, sorry.
Go ahead.
I had a tangent there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Your mock draft, you have us trading away our pick. And where is our next pick now? We are
19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, did you do 11? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did do 11. That was Broderick Jones to Tennessee.
Okay.
And now we're at 12. Houston, I have going Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Which, hey, look, they get their quarterback with the number 2 pick, and they get his go-to wide receiver.
That's a beautiful pairing.
Exactly.
It's like the Bengals.
And I think that's the model that they would want to go with.
I think.
And so you're playing in the AFC, man. You've got to compete against those teams that have the stud quarterbacks and the stud defensive backs. This is where when everybody does the 49ers comparison, my question is, okay, who are the 49ers getting their quarterback to go up and beat?
Yeah.
They're trying to get past the Eagles, but who in their division would you say has the dominant quarterback play? Nobody, right?
Yeah.
So, whereas Houston is trying to compete with all those other AFC teams that all have their stud quarterbacks, the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens.
Yeah.
They have to compete against those teams if they want to, become one of the elite teams in this league.
So you got your quarterback, you got your wide out.
Yeah.
Let's go. start putting up some points. Side question.
Yeah.
What do you think about Justin Herbert and his?
I love Justin Herbert.
And his future with the Chargers.
If I am Justin Herbert, I want out of LA, because that just seems like such a dead franchise.
Can you see him coming to the NFC East? Because I can.
Absolutely, I could see him.
So scary.
Yeah, and that would be scary. Yeah.
I can honestly see Washington doing something somewhere somehow,
especially now with the new ownership in Washington,
to try and snag him.
Which I was
just
I'm the only one that wasn't excited with Daniel Snyder selling the team.
No, I mean,
I wanted him to hold on to that franchise forever.
We all want somebody like what Dallas does. They'll just pump up, and then fail. It's fantastic. We want the same for the Redskins.
Absolutely.
We just want to see you drive yourself into the ground.
And Daniel Snyder was driving that bus directly into the cliff.
Yes. And we actually have an inside man.
Yeah.
With Josh Harris in that group,
yeah, the Sixers owner.
Then,
he owns the Sixers, and then he owns two of my least favorite franchises in all of sports, the Devils and now Washington.
Yeah. But he's an East Coast powerhouse.
Yeah.
He's a Jersey guy, too. I mean, but...
Well, and you kind of got to like that East Coast power now. Like, you're so used to seeing the West Coast powerhouses.
I wish the Flyers would,
Well, yeah. If they could somehow get him to sell the Devils and then buy the Flyers,
oh my goodness,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be great. But sorry, I
okay, yeah,
again. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. 13, the Jets. This is another example where a team, look, either you have your quarterback or you're looking for one. They're trying to get Rodgers, and so they've got to look to try and protect Aaron Rodgers,
of course.
And I've got Paris Johnson, the offensive tackle out of Ohio State. It's an easy pick.
It's very easy pick.
Number 14, I have the Patriots going Dalton Kincaid. They've been trying to get a good tight end since the last tight end they had that was any good committed homicide. And
he is the top-rated tight end. So
yeah. So yeah, that would be my pick for the Patriots at 14. At 15, I have the Packers going Darnell Wright, the offensive tackle out of Tennessee. This is kind of a matter of best player on the board, and I can't see the Packers, after all those years of not taking a wide receiver, finally taking one now that they're trading Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Which, although I would love it, I think it would be hilarious. But so that would be my pick at 15, Darnell Wright. Number 16, the Commanders. I have going Jordan Addison, the wide receiver out of USC.
Okay.
17, the Steelers take Joey Porter Jr.
Yep.
So they had Joey Porter Sr., and now they've got Jr.
Yeah, I mean,
the family legacy there in Pittsburgh.
He's a great coverage guy. I mean, he's fantastic. I think he's going to have a great career.
Yeah. At 18, I have the Lions back on the board, and man, the Lions, they're doing some work here.
They're building up.
I like what the Lions are doing. I have Miles Murphy, defense. This is another example. As we start to get later into this draft, I'm going to be saying a lot of, it's just the best guy on the board.
Okay.
And I think that's just an example of, wow, it's teaming him with Aiden Hutchinson.
Do you think that they have the need? So certain picks that you say, hey, this is just the best guy available. Is that
best guy to also? I think it's the best player on the board that also fits a need. Whenever anybody's just like, oh, we'll just take the best player on the board. Well, if you're a team like the Eagles or the Chiefs and like Anthony Richardson sitting there as a quarterback, you're not taking him because it's the best player on the board. You're going to take the best player on the board at a position that you can get in there.
See, I don't even think just because quarterbacks go, the top tier quarterbacks go in the first 10 picks. I don't think that's because they're the best.
It's because that's a position of need.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's because
and there's a reason why those teams are picking at the top of the draft, because they like to reach for need as opposed to picking the best guy. I always think that's a matter of balance. Yes, you want to pick the best player on your board, but have a collection of players and say, okay, of this group, I want the best player from this collection, this cluster of players.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I would love to get some more insight on this from pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
But would you say that drafting trenches and
absolutely yes,
or trading for skill positions like wide receiver and corner and safety is the better outlook, because you get a glimpse of what these guys can do in the NFL, and then you're basically just building your line from the draft, defensive, offensive line.
Yeah.
And then you have those certain positions, even running back. Mm-hmm. You've already seen what this guy can do. So now I'm going to use, instead of that pick, I'll trade that pick to you for the guy I know can do it.
Sure.
My
philosophy is,
where the question is in there, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. My philosophy is always, this game, you can dress it up all you want. This game is won by the big boys up front. And it's won by your offensive and defensive line. And the teams that get that, the teams that build those offensive and defensive lines, are the teams you see playing in late January and early February.
And that's been Bill Belichick and Andy Reid for the most part of their life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those two have been in.
And if you go back and look at their drafts, okay, fine, you can pick out Patrick Mahomes was drafted in the first round. And yes, you need your quarterback. But how many other years did you see that Tamba Hali's, the other, those defensive and offensive linemen that you need to win at the point of attack? That you need hat on a hat, it's 3rd and 2, we need to pick up 2 yards. Or we need to stop that team from getting 2 yards.
Yep.
That's when you win. That's how you win football games.
I'm glad that,
So with that being said, I have the 19th overall pick being Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas.
Exactly. 19. Who's picking?
The Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the Eagles. I have the Eagles trading back.
Doing that to get a running back.
Yeah, and it adds value because at 10, Bijan Robinson, I could.
Right? More money too.
Yes, yeah, and I could see that pick being made at 10, and some guys who call themselves experts are mocking that the Eagles would take Bijan Robinson at 10. I have him still being on the board at 19. Look, to me, somewhere in that 10 to he's got a wide range. I think anywhere from 10 to 25, Bijan Robinson could go.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of said, well, I could split it down the middle and say, all right, so not at 10, not at 25, 19, that works for me.
What about so again, this was another table pinned question. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our listeners and people are wondering, King Henry, what's going on with Derrick Henry?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to save it to now to talk about that. Yeah.
Us having that 10th overall pick and Tennessee being right near us, can we see some more Howie magic on draft day with him and his new relationship with Tennessee?
But also remember that relationship was with the old general manager who got fired the week after the Eagles.
I do now remember that he got fired because we all laughed. Because
we got their GM fired.
Yeah, because why would you give up A.J. Brown?
I remember that day, the day of the Eagles-Titans game. It was practically stealing money to go in and bet. I took a same-game parlay, A.J. Brown over on receptions, A.J. Brown over on yards, and A.J. Brown to score a touchdown. I covered all 3. I laughed all the way to the bank.
Yep. And by the way, if you have gambling issues, 1-800 Gambler.
They're an indirect sponsor of the show. Yeah.
No, I mean, I honestly see that.
Well, yeah, and obviously that would
a move like that to get a player like him, a beast. When you have an offensive line like you do, we were talking about this earlier.
Yes,
these guys are just going to push forward, and once he breaks into the secondary, who's stopping that?
I mean, every down would essentially be a running down. 3rd and 9 would essentially be a running down because it's all right, well, we'll just line up, hat on a hat,
I'll bring this comment back up so you can kind of take a look at it. I mean,
yeah.
There you go. Right there. There's a great argument, Henry would be absolutely terrible if the RPO system needs to be set up 7 yards deep and have a head of steam to be successful. I mean,
my counter to that would be you can set up
athletic.
your system to run it whatever way you want.
Exactly.
Like whatever way fits his skill set, you can run it to work that skill set.
I honestly don't think he really does need. Yes, when he's
been effective in that role.
7 yards deep, and yes, he's getting the head of steam. Completely understand that. But when your offensive line can afford you a couple extra yards because they're pushing, and then the running back can find that hole, break, and get into the secondary, he is the best. Like, there's no one better than him in the secondary.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. When he gets to that next level, like, forget a safety, a corner, they're not bringing him down.
Are you happy with our running back room right now?
If we don't add a single running back to this room, I am absolutely 100% satisfied with it. Yeah, Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny's our go-to.
Yeah.
You're fine with Kenny Gainwell and
Walton. Yeah, I am.
All right. So, what I'm
this is a luxury pick for me. The picking up Bijan Robinson or picking up Derrick Henry in this scenario.
This is so tough because when you pick up Bijan, you get a Derrick Henry esque type of guy because he's got muscle on him.
Well, that's where
speed.
Yeah, and he's got the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. That's where I looked at it and said, all right, well, we could trade and acquire a Derrick Henry, or we could trade back and take the next dude that's going to be compared to Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. And I'd rather trade down and take the next dude.
No, I agree. And it's tough because, again, this is that mindset that I have of Derrick Henry being proven and showing that he can just manhandle men. Like, I'm not saying like.
My one retort to that, DeMarco Murray.
You're saying, harken back to when the Eagles got DeMarco Murray and thought he was going to be the same.
Yes,
I understand, but DeMarco Murray.
No, I get it.
Is not the same running back as Derrick Henry.
I mean,
Derrick Henry's a special.
He's a special breed. I mean, like. I've seen him standing next to other running backs that were supposedly big power running backs, and he looks like he ate that other running back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. So, the Eagles possibly using that 10 and the 30 to tempt Tennessee. Are you going to
no, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No, I'm not giving up 10 or 30. No.
Yep. I'm pointing at our buddy Ryan Reis. He is
off air today.
He's off air today, but he is one of the hosts
producing
of the Football Smack Talk show. He's the GOAT when it comes to the podcast world and
the sharing.
For years, he is the leader.
He has been carrying me for like 12 years.
That must hurt.
Yeah, seriously, and I put on some weight in those like 12, 15 years.
Fortunately, no inches.
No height. Just a lot of weight.
So essentially, what we're getting at is, I'm asking him if he would do it. He said no.
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry.
No, I would not give up 10 or. If they wanted to give us 11 and Derrick Henry for 10, yeah, I'd do that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I could throw something else in, yeah.
Quick recap for our listeners. The Eagles have traded back to 19 in Eric's mock draft to get Bijan Robinson. I also want to take another quick pause. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of interruptions.
Yeah.
I just want to be a good advocate for where we're at right now. I have to say thank you to the Italian American Club.
Especially for letting us Irish guys in.
In Wayne, PA. And they've just been so kind to us, letting us do this here multiple times in a year. And they've always been so accommodating, and friends and family are out to support us.
Yeah, so it's fantastic.
It's great. So I just want to shout out the Italian American Club in Wayne, PA. Give that love. And
absolutely. Yeah, let's.
All
right. So with the 20th pick, I have the Seahawks. Right after we just had the Bijan Robinson pick, the first running back to go off the board, I have the 5th quarterback going off the board, Hendon Hooker, going to Seattle. This is one of Seattle's with the eye for the future. This is like when you take a first round pick, you don't like a lot of people get confused, think, oh well, they already have a quarterback. They got Geno Smith. Well, you had that quarterback for at least 4 years, if not a fifth year. You have the fifth year option. So this is just, especially Seattle having 2 first rounders. That's why I have them going Hooker here with the later pick.
I would agree because you would give Hooker the ability to
recover from his knee injury.
Yes,
yeah,
but get play time within like almost insignificant moments. I mean, if Geno Smith stays healthy and plays well,
right, it's like the perfect scenario for them.
It's his.
And think about it.
To just take over, not win. Really.
Like Seattle could basically do what the Chiefs did with Mahomes, where they had Alex Smith start ahead of him for a year, and then the next year, okay, well they could deal Geno Smith next year. His contract becomes easier to absorb the cap hit after next year.
Yeah.
And to me, like this makes just a ton of sense for Seattle. They get a quarterback that they can essentially redshirt. He's going to have the injury. Like they don't have to worry about trying to get him on the field this year. They can just tell him just get healthy and absorb the playbook.
Yeah, exactly. Smart.
With
Seattle, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
they have needs. They have draft capital.
Sure.
They're ready to make their push to try and be a preeminent team in the NFC West again. So.
Absolutely, and this would be a big opportunity for them to not only they added somebody in Miles Murphy earlier in the draft, and now I have them adding their quarterback in the future, so they get somebody who can help them in 2023 and somebody who can help them in 2024 and beyond.
Yes, perfect.
So now we can go 21, the LA Chargers, which, by the way, this would have been where the Dolphins would have been picking had they not had the issue with it was the Tua thing, right? With the concussion protocol and like them violating.
Oh, I thought it was the coach.
Or was it the coach? Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't sure what their because the coach came out and said something about they were tanking.
They weren't. And also they weren't adhering to the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Okay.
Rooney Rule, by the way, just a mansplain or whatever, is set in place to hire more diverse coaches in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it's to guarantee them getting interviews.
Yeah.
And
it's more open-minded.
It stinks that like a lot of teams have kind of just used that as like, okay, they get one interview. Like Deuce Staley has interviewed like for 17 different coaching vacancies. It had never really been considered for one. And it's such crap.
It shouldn't have to be forced,
right?
Which is unfortunate. But it is it is forced.
Yeah,
and that also draws a negative connotation to it. But I see the idea. I see the
the idea behind it was significant and was a good idea.
It's one of
it's a shame that they had to do it.
Yes, exactly. I'm very happy to see someone like Deuce Staley get very many opportunities, but to see him not land a job, like a very important job, like a big role,
right?
It's kind of shocking, simply because like player, coach on Super Bowl team, this, that, the other. Like, I thought he was going to be our head coach for a while there.
I did too. I really did. I was too. I was on board with it. Hell, I was on board with it when we fired Chip Kelly to give Deuce Staley the opportunity.
Well, thankfully we got Dougie P.
Yeah, and Dougie P won us the Super Bowl, and that was fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Immortalized.
Yes.
Statue.
Yes. I've taken my picture there. Yeah.
We're there every Sunday.
Yeah. All right. So with the 21st pick, I have the LA Chargers going with Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame. We talked about it earlier that, the Chargers, there's a couple of reasons for this pick. One, try and keep your quarterback happy, and quarterback's best friend is the tight end.
Dude, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
More Justin Herbert. Like, the guy is just...
He's so good.
Quarterback. Like,
he's special.
If you built one, you'd probably cut his hair. But other than that...
Right. If you built a quarterback from the ground up, you'd get Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Or it might be a Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen
Sure.
baby. Like,
Oh
but
God,
it's
that would be quite the baby.
I'm just saying. It's funny to think that Justin Herbert hasn't had more success, but then you think about the Chargers and their organization.
They're such a
and
bad
coaching, and
organization.
it's like, oh man, never mind. I don't question this.
It's funny when
the kid is talented.
When we
Just
go
get him
through and say, oh, like this guy's a great fit in this team, this guy's a great fit in this organization, I feel like Justin Herbert, like he's the antithesis of that argument. Like he's just in the exact wrong situation for him.
It's like, oh man,
what's the shittiest
that could ever be, and put him on the worst team? Okay, cool.
Justin Herbert. Let's go.
The Chargers. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
Now that we just mentioned the Chargers,
yeah,
I completely forgot about the Austin Eckler rumors.
Yeah, that was another rumor. The Eagles have been linked to just about every big-time productive running back. Yeah. And I feel like
it's would be a
yes, he would. Look, any of these running backs would be a great addition. It's the Eagles lost their running back. They had 2 first-round picks, and so people immediately think they'll use one of those picks to go get a veteran running back. I, of course, have them.
I'm not sure what the case is going to be, though.
Well, in my mock draft, there would be no need for that because we've got Bijan Robinson.
That issue.
Yeah.
All right.
So with the 22nd pick, the Ravens continue their quest to get a big-time wide receiver in Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College.
Awesome.
They are going to waste every team, as much success as the Ravens have at every other position. That is how bad they are at wide receiver. Well, yeah. But they've had so little success at wide receiver, but they're going to keep swinging.
I mean, they had Hollywood Brown.
Sure.
And I thought that was like his spot. Like him and Lamar were gelling. Like Lamar is not the best passer in my opinion.
No, he's not.
But when he could throw it deep, he needed somebody fast to like literally catch up to the ball that he just threw. I thought that was going to work out. Baby Flowers, works out.
I think he could.
So he put up big numbers in the small school. And I say small school.
Well, Boston College, they play in the ACC. Which anymore, if you're not in the SEC or the Big Ten, or maybe the Pac-12, but okay, Clemson's had success.
UNC's my college football or college basketball team. They're my college team. Period. So don't count on UNC. They put out some really good draft picks.
If we were going multiple rounds, I would have a pick for the Eagles in
UNC
the second.
Pick.
Yes.
Oh. All right. Tease me with it at the end.
All right, I will. Okay, so we are, what are we at? 23. Minnesota, I have going Deonte Banks. This is another example of best player on the board. He's a corner out of Maryland. I think he's a fantastic player, moving up a lot of people's boards. It always shocks me when this time of year, when they start saying, oh, well, this guy's moving up boards. How could he be moving up boards? Like, they haven't played a game. He hasn't had a single workout. What has he done to show you?
They already did the combine and his pro day.
What has he done to show you? But whatever. Like, that's a real thing.
See the way he walked to Wawa the other day? It was impressive. Just
the way he dodged traffic as he crossed the street. Like,
there's no athletic ability.
Oh, man, you can't teach that.
You can't dodge traffic. You can't dodge a ball.
That reference I do get.
You do know that one. Good.
Yeah. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So with the 24th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I have going with Kalijah Kancey, the defensive tackle out of Pitt.
Yep.
Just another example of best player on the board.
But fitting needs.
Yes, but also fits a need. Yes.
When Eric is saying best player on the board, he's saying best player on the board for the need.
Yes.
Which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Have to get that down. Have to get that in everybody's ears, because when you say best player on the board, it's just like, oh.
That just means it's
the best guy there?
No.
It's the best guy.
So like
in
a team,
position of need.
I feel like every team goes in with, say, like 4 or 5 needs. And you say, okay, these are our 4 or 5 needs. I want the best player from one of these 4 or 5 different positions.
For a team in the NFL, you're losing.
Like, you don't want to just say, I want the best.
Year.
You don't want to just say, I want the best defensive end available. because then you could get caught being like, okay, this guy's not really a first round pick, but he's the next defensive end.
That's bad.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to do. So you want to say, okay, well, so we're not going defensive end. So what's another position of need? Maybe a linebacker, maybe a corner. And you can say, okay, well, of those needs, this is the best player on the board, and that's who you take.
You just said Minnesota, then you just said
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Camp, yeah.
So that need
for that defensive tackle.
Who did they have? Who did they lose? Kind of thing. That's what you have to look at.
Right.
You have to think about, like, okay, they had this guy 2 years ago. They want another guy just like that. Last year they had a guy that can do it, but he, was only on a 1-year deal. He was, he's retiring.
Sure.
Like, there's so many things that happen in the NFL. It's wild.
Okay, so now let's go on to the next pick. We get into some of the NFC East again. Now we have the Giants. I have them going with Cody Mock, the offensive tackle out of North Dakota State. This is a matter of, the Giants have been trying to figure out that offensive line since Eli Manning. And I feel like they invested in Daniel Jones. They're trying to invest in Saquon Barkley. Yeah. So, let's get them some protection.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Cody. Yeah. And so
they got their guy, and
they couldn't protect him.
The funniest thing I've ever heard is Daniel Jones looks like the actor that they would hire to play Eli Manning in a movie about Eli Manning. He is another Eli Manning.
Yes,
but he can run a little bit better.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't trip over the 20-yard line. I'm sorry, there's no better highlight.
One of my favorite memories.
Yeah,
just actually being there and watching.
Oh, so you were actually at that game?
Yeah,
that's actually. Because I was gonna say, I know that was one of the games they were letting fans in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't believe this just happened in front of my eyes.
All right, so then the Cowboys at 26. Brian Persee, defensive tackle out of Clemson.
Okay.
He's a nice player, but Dallas sucks.
Dallas sucks.
All right, so moving on. The Buffalo Bills, I feel like they're in kind of an arms race with like Kansas City and Cincinnati, just trying to improve at the skill position, trying to improve the depth at wide receiver. So I'll say Jalen Hyatt. Yeah.
Don't you see that happen?
Absolutely.
Why don't they take the Patriots and the Chiefs as examples of what you need? But this is what I'm talking about with the trenches. Like, build. You don't have to reach for these guys. You don't have to go out.
And I think this is
more wideouts.
I think this is an example of a reach. I have the Bills going Jalen Hyatt, the wide receiver out of Tennessee.
Okay. Tennessee had a good year this year.
Sure.
And he was obviously a standout.
Can play inside and outside.
Cross over the 1,000 yard this year. Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he did.
And just an impressive player. I mean, obviously nobody would be talking about any of these guys if
they weren't any good. Yeah.
Now if who's it? Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right. If he were coming out,
if he were coming out, nobody would be talking about.
Oh yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be. Like.
By the way.
Yeah.
Just thinking ahead. What you were saying with all that draft capital.
Yes.
What you were saying about the Eagles and Howie. And guess what?
Think a year or two down the road.
Guess what's going to come up?
Marvin
Smith is going to need to get paid, but A.J. Brown has already gotten paid.
Yep. And look, it could be a case where you can't keep everybody, and so in a year or so, you're thinking, all right, well, Devontae Smith will be on his third year. So I know theoretically 2 more years, but that means you can extend him after next year. Well, if you decide not to, now you've got all that draft capital, you could go up and get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Who is special.
Yes.
Like, the guy is just like his dad. Like, maybe better. I mean, I didn't watch Marvin Harrison in college. I've seen some highlights from his college. I know what he did in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in college. He was incredible. Yeah.
The guy was just a machine. And if his son has anywhere near the work ethic that his dad had, he's going to be very, very good. And that's something that you have to think about in the future. Getting some guy like that who's young and talented and fresh and hungry. Oof. Man, like Devontae Smith is talented,
Mm-hmm.
and we all know that. He's got
Sure.
speed and he's got the hands. Does he have the same go up and get there that Harrison does? Does he have the same?
So I want to try to catch up on some of these comments.
Really? Ooh, I like that. Oh, sorry. We are.
I'm sorry. I'm
currently
trying
reading
to.
some
Yeah.
Comments. We'll post them up.
I want to put this one up here. Well, I mean, they do get big pushes.
So, okay. The threat of Jalen, I understand that completely. But Eagles O-line blocking.
Hold on, I got to put this one up here because I don't agree with this at all.
And I also don't agree with this. But we'll get into that. I'll just quickly say the Eagles O-line blocking is built for downfield movement. Is it not? Am I mistaken? Like Jason Kelsey can literally lead a rush like he can get downfield before the running back. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I like mistaking what we're trying to get from Derrick Henry into something else?
I mean,
the Eagles are that push downfield type of O-line.
I mean, like,
once he breaks through.
So one of the best ways I heard the formation that the Eagles do when they almost got banned this year. The play where Jalen just gets a push from everybody. My one friend calls it aggressive victory formation because it kind of looks like you're lining up in that victory formation to take a knee, but it's just everybody's pushing ahead. And it's funny during the Super Bowl, every time they lined up in that formation, I sounded like they might as well say, "Hey guys, Jalen's gonna run it."
Yeah, right.
Like they might as well just come out and said it when they went up to the line.
Yeah. I mean,
and I was waiting for one time for them to just quickly come off that and throw like a quick hitting pass or something. And I want to see them do that one time, maybe on a third and one.
Do you remember the game where we did that? Mm-hmm. We drove down. I forget who it was against. It was this year. Mm-hmm. We drove down. We did that exact play on the goal line. And then the next time we did the same thing. Drove down, got to the goal line. Jalen did like a sidestep around the entire pile. You remember that?
Yes.
So instead of diving, he noticed that the defense
everybody was loading up there.
Pile up.
So he
literally did like this. It looked uncoordinated. But he did this sidestep, like roll into the end zone. Love it. Again, Marina.
I love the energy.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Thank you so much for watching, commenting.
Yeah,
we're not going to argue or anything like
that.
No. Just like read your comments.
Yeah,
the Eagles are about movement and angle. And angles, they don't line up hat on hat and drive block. Okay. I can kind of understand he or she.
Yeah, whoever, whatever.
Where they are coming from. And I definitely get, it's a very good point. They are not traditionally the power
line. I mean, like Jason Kelsey is a smaller center.
And
like
he's the spear tip.
Yeah.
He's the spear tip. And they drive with him.
Yeah.
He's so special because he gets so low.
Mm-hmm.
And Marina, I hope that you can agree with me on this, is that Jason Kelsey is just going to be so missed when he leaves. I'm glad he's, still here as of now.
So I want to wrap up the rest of the first round, and then we can get into these debates.
Sorry.
But I enjoy these. We'll get back to you. So at 28, I have the Bengals trying to maybe play a little answering of like some of these picks at wide receiver. I've been going Emmanuel Forbes, the corner out of Mississippi State. Line up somebody to try and defend these great receivers.
Yeah.
At 29, this is where the Saints, and as much as I mock the Saints sometimes, this is where I think that they'll be smarter and want to build up front. I have them going Osiris Torrance, the guard out of Florida.
Okay. I mean, considering that they had such success with their quarterback this season, you would have to look at the offense.
Absolutely, yeah.
Makes complete sense.
And that's where I have the Eagles. I know we said earlier we didn't think Brian Branch was going to be there. I have
I'm
Brian Branch.
surprised you
Yeah.
haven't.
And I have him there, and I have him not even being taken here.
I can't
Because I can't believe, and my only reasoning behind not taking him here is I can't believe with 2 first-round picks, we're not taking either an offensive or defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going Nolan Smith, defensive end out of Georgia.
Okay.
And wrapping up the first round, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They got to be ecstatic that this guy is still there, Lucas Van Ness.
No way.
Yeah.
There's no way he's still there.
I know, but tell me which pick that you would have Van Ness ahead of.
I've heard 10 to the Eagles.
No, I know, but I'm saying okay, I have the Eagles trading out of 10. Anthony Richardson's they're not moving up to go get Lucas Van Ness, right?
No, I think Carter would be the get. Carter's the goal, in my opinion. This is me. I think Jalen Carter is a talent and is the goal for the Eagles.
Or you mean Nolan Carter? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or Nolan Smith.
No, Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
I think at 10, if Jalen Carter's still there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's what the Eagles are doing. And then we're going to
trade
trade back.
If he were still there at 10, there's no way the Eagles trade that player.
And then we're going to trade. So this is what I think.
Yeah.
10, you're going Jalen Carter if he's there. Maybe even Van Ness, because Van Ness has shown that he's explosive. Very explosive.
Yeah.
But the fear of the non-play is always there.
He wasn't a starter at Iowa.
Exactly.
And I think, and look, in some ways that can almost be seen as a good thing because you didn't waste snaps. No wear and tear.
But
I almost feel like because of the depth for the defensive line in this draft, that drives down some of the value in some of these guys. And so that's why I think Nolan Smith and Lucas Van Ness I have there at the end of the first round.
Okay.
As opposed to, look, in most drafts, they would be top 10 picks. But because there are so many guys that we didn't even mention yet for this.
Jameer Evans.
Right. He's another one.
I think that's what the Eagles would do with their 30. Trade back, get him a little bit later. And that solves another issue, obviously, with the running back room. You want some youth. Kenny Gainwell's obviously young.
Oh, sure. So is Boston Scott.
Yeah, Boston Scott or Rashad Penny. As a 35-year-old man.
As a 42-year-old man, I'm calling these guys old.
Young,
yeah.
Or old or whatever.
Oh, they're over 30. They're old.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
12 years younger than me.
Yeah. But it's one of those situations where you think you want to get, like you said, the best available player that fits the need.
Yes.
And I think that is Jalen Carter because
absolutely.
He's just dominant.
And that's where I could almost see them saying,
Jalen Carter's a Georgia guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's another
he would be
addition
teamed up
to the Georgia line.
with N'Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis.
We should get some Florida guys in there and have a Florida
Georgia line. Yeah, there we go. Although that band broke up.
Did they?
Yeah, that band broke up.
I don't like country that much, but
yeah, I'm a big country fan. So yeah, and my wife loves Florida Georgia line. Yeah,
I'm sure she does. She's from Delta.
She's gonna give us the side eye now.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the Eagles in this draft, and again, thankful that you took the time to come out here and talk with me about this because, I am a huge Eagles fan.
Sure,
but I can be ignorant and a little bit uninformed at times. I don't put forth the effort. You have pop-ups.
Effort. Yeah.
I have pop-ups that come up and let me know the news. And when that guy walks by at work that knows we're both Eagles fans says, "Did you hear about the Jalen Hurts contract?" It's of course I did.
Yeah.
The mint had to be they had to restart the mint at the U.S. Treasury just because Jalen Hurts got paid.
Oh yeah, they had to print out
money.
Yeah,
but that's our guy. You don't like it, so Carson Wentz is an example of what we've seen. And again, to those who are watching, one of our co-hosts off screen, Ryan Reis, just asking him essentially like, how do you feel about giving a quarterback a substantial amount? I mean, like the
richest contract in the history of football.
If you think it's a team crippling contract,
yeah, but it's not because of the way
you're pushing it and you're guaranteeing it. And what if he doesn't work out? Just like Carson.
Well, sure. I mean,
we're hit and we're hurt. It's team crippling. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're okay, fine. If your quarterback doesn't work out, your franchise is kind of screwed. That's any NFL team. If their quarterback all of a sudden falls off a cliff, they're going to be screwed. I mean, I would say stay away from cliffs.
Yeah,
like that would be my advice. But
yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things that I love about Jalen Hurts is just the option to have him be able to run and throw. This is very simple, very basic, breaking it down to rudimentary skills. You can run,
and it's really fun on
throw,
knowing that you can just take off.
You are literally the most dangerous person on the football field.
Well, and so many people get very caught up in this ability to run thing, and like I always say, man, I'd rather have my quarterback sitting back from the pocket and picking you apart.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, we talked about Justin Herbert being Hurts quarterback.
But Justin Herbert can also take off if need be.
Jalen Hurts is probably 5 inches shorter, but faster, more agile. But Justin Herbert has the vision that Jalen Hurts is probably going to gain.
Okay, so I teased earlier when you brought up your North Carolina guy. I want to bring up a guy who I have the Eagles. Well, I'd love to see the Eagles take in the second or third round. So let me bring him up. Let me bring up my my list of players.
How about going back to
how about a receiver, Josh Downs, wide receiver at UNC. Would love to see him in the second or third round.
It's another.
He'd be a nice slot guy to replace Quez.
What was his name? Hicks.
Jordan Hicks?
No, he went to the Giants. Wide receiver.
Oh, Akeem Nicks.
Akeem Nicks.
Yeah, Akeem Nicks. Yeah.
That's one of those wide receivers. I don't know if you remember this, Eric. You're a big memory guy.
Yeah, I remember a few things.
He made this catch in college where it was like thrown behind him, and he literally, and I'll try and do this. He literally reached his
he pinned it against his back. Yeah.
No, he almost caught it with one hand to pass it to the other hand. If you've never seen this, look up Akeem Nicks UNC catch, and it'll be the first one, guaranteed. You can look it up right now.
Yeah, here, yeah.
But it was just amazing to see talented wideouts, talented. There's a lot of talent that comes out of UNC, actually. I mean, even though he's not the best quarterback, Trubisky was a huge quarterback when he was going on. But either way, just going back to some comments saying what's up to Mr. Crockpot, love you Dodds, and those are the type of wide receivers that you're looking at in the draft that are special. So, are the Eagles even looking later in the rounds that they have draft picks? Are they looking at any wideouts?
Well, I would think, you would want to look at
someone.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like you want to be able to say, we have a deep room.
Okay, you tell me, is this
Sorry, we're looking at the catch. Amazing. Yes, that was it. So not only does he complete this catch by catching it behind him and putting it
I love
his
this,
other
us
hand,
watching the video, but not showing it on our show.
First down, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're looking at it.
Slow motion, goes in.
Oh, wow.
He passes it to himself.
He should get credit with a pass attempt too.
Amazing. But these are the type of wideouts that we're looking for in the draft. And the question I have for Eric, again, being the ignorant fan, is just do we just later in the draft say why not?
Well, yeah. I mean, if there's somebody to be had, absolutely.
You have AJ, you have Schmidt.
Sure. I mean, the question is
the other Batman, the
skinny Batman. Yeah.
Like, we have two guys that are just threats on the outside. Who do we have? And what are we gonna do? You know?
All right, I was trying to see what Dives had to say. Just how you doing, Dives?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, so.
Oh, absolutely,
Well, we have a round 5 pick.
No, we don't have a round 5. We don't have a round 6 either.
7.
Yeah.
I can guess up until 7 because there's no more rounds.
Yes. This is why
playing the ignorant fan.
This is why I wanted the Eagles traded down. This is why I had the Eagles trading down from 10 to 19 in the hopes of, like I said, the idea of getting a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, and I mean, I would love to get also a 6, and then a 1 and a 3 in next year, a 2 and a 4 in the following.
What are we doing with the like? How does that? Do you know how that negotiation process works?
I mean, it kind of.
So you're the guy.
Okay.
You're the guy making the calls.
Yeah.
What's your pitch? What's your sales pitch? What's your elevator pitch?
My elevator pitch is just, hey, look, do you want to be the team that, doesn't have a quarterback out of this thing? The Bucs go from Tom Brady to Tom, Dick, and Harry playing quarterback for him.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be that team that just doesn't have a quarterback? And so, that would be and that would kind of be my pitch. Like, okay, well, look, we can call Tennessee and they'll come up and get their quarterback, or we can call, hey, look, maybe we can call one of your division rivals and they can come up and get a quarterback. Your whole division is kind of hot garbage right now.
Yeah.
You get yourself a nice quarterback, and look, you can take over this division for the next 10 years. If you don't want that, that's cool. I'm sure the Saints will take him. I'm sure, Atlanta would love to have him.
So I know you guys are going to speak a lot about this on the Football Smack Talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Monday nights,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, my bad. 6 o'clock Monday nights, you guys talk football. I mean, you guys are some of the best to talk football. And
we're some of the guys that talk football. Yes, maybe not the best, but we're some of the guys that talk football.
I said some of the best for a reason. And really, what I'm wondering is and I'm sure some fans are super curious as well. Where are we at with linebackers? So
not great.
I'm not going to. So
I mean, you want to play linebacker?
What are we doing?
They might be calling you in a little bit. See if you can go play linebacker. They're not calling me.
I'm ready to go.
They're not calling me to play linebacker. They're not calling me to play Water Boy.
All I'm saying is that it's a position of need.
Mm-hmm.
No one has a linebacker on our draft board early.
Well, there aren't any good. I didn't have a single traditional linebacker going off the board in the first round.
Is there a top? Who is the top linebacker coming out this year? Is he from Ohio State? Is he from Alabama?
Arkansas. Drew Sanders.
Drew Sanders. Did you have him going off the board at all?
Nope, not in the first round.
Incredible. I'm just baffled that. I'm amazed that the linebacker position is not as prevalent, I guess, as it used to be.
So I'll say this: the way the league is right now, if you're not somebody who affects the passing game, whether you're an offensive guy making a pass or catching a pass, or a defensive guy defending the pass, or going after the quarterback, you're your value is decreased. And most linebackers, corners, and you notice I had a ton of corners going off the board.
You did, but they don't affect the line. They don't.
Well, they break up passing.
Vision.
They break up passes. Because this is a passing league.
Able to, either way, get rid of the ball, do whatever he wants.
So edge rushers and pass rushing type linebackers are the ones that I have going off the board in the first round. So the off the ball linebacker is not somebody I have coming off the board in the first round because of the value of that position.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Because you want to eliminate the time the quarterback has, not eliminate the threat after he gets rid of the ball.
And look, I'll even say, even though I had the Eagles taking Bijan Robinson at pick 19, look, would it necessarily be a hot take? Would be, hey, what if no running back gets taken in the first round? What if Bijan Robinson doesn't go in the first round? Would that? I mean, I think that would be a big deal, but it wouldn't necessarily. I've heard more shocking takes than Bijan Robinson doesn't go on Thursday night. I mean, I think he will, but I'm saying I've heard.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I like that a lot. That he just doesn't go on Thursday.
Yeah. If he doesn't go for round one.
That's something I didn't think of because I feel like somebody's going to take it.
Sure, and I do think they will. But is it the most...
It's the best player available mentality that we wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's...
By the way, I would like to mark, our professionalism somehow maintaining concentration despite these knuckleheads in the background. You're trying to distract us.
What I want to note is the fact that you think that we're actually going to draft a running back in the first round.
I don't necessarily.
I want to call this out because I want to say that it's biased.
Because it's a Texas running back, and I'm a big Texas fan.
Not only that, but it's because you think that is our biggest need.
It's not that I think it's our biggest need, but what do you think helps this offense take that next step more? What do you think makes this offense more dangerous?
Our offense?
Yeah. I would think
a healthy tight end.
Well, I think we do have a healthy tight end.
Be healthy.
Well, we do have it. Okay, so then, I mean, what, are we going to draft somebody to help his health? I mean,
what I'm saying is, why aren't we, as an organization or a team, thinking...
So are you saying you want a second tight end?
Just no. What I'm saying is just get the running back later.
I'm fine with that.
We're fine with a running back later because our offensive line should be and will be good enough to just make almost any first down back, second down back, your primary back, 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, I mean, and look, that's a great devil's advocate to play. And I think that there's some truth to that. The Eagles could plug in a lot of different running backs and be fine there.
You got Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
Why not find another guy that's just out there?
And I'll give you a different take on it. Why take a running back at all in the draft for the Eagles?
Agreed. That's kind of what I'm
This is
at.
Kind of one of those, I know I said...
focus on defense.
Sure.
Defense.
Well, we lost a lot on defense.
Exactly.
And I
think we need to recover in the draft.
Look, a selection of, say, a Brian Branch at 19 and Nolan Smith at 30 would be great. Yeah. I think both of those guys, or either way. I'm a fan of Brian Branch as well. Yeah.
But you can't reach, right?
And for those who saying, I agree with him there.
Back? You trade back.
I think.
What, Atlanta? Is that 18, 17?
Atlanta's 8.
No. They're second pick.
No, that's Detroit. Detroit has an 18th.
Then Detroit. You work with Detroit.
Oh, man, back. Detroit, that would be... so what's the motivation if you're Detroit? Who are you trading up to get if you're Detroit? They draft... in my draft, I am getting Devin Witherspoon at pick... What was that? Pick 7.
Or 7. Sorry.
6. Yeah, 6. And so, who are they moving up from 18 to go get? Like again, in
Who
my
are they
mind,
moving up at 18? Probably who we would want, Jalen Carter.
yeah, O-line, D-line, something like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But you had them addressing the other side of that defensive pass rush.
Well, I have
your mock draft.
I have
That was-
Detroit
that was a
going
good
with
pick.
I had Detroit
I like
going
that.
corner with their early pick, and then defensive line. Yeah,
Well, corners,
that's definitely a
he's
position
getting-
of need for
He
them.
probably already has his contract.
Oh yeah, Devin Witherspoon's
Yeah.
already been sent a contract by
exactly.
Detroit.
Like he's
He's probably
locked in.
already looking at homes in the Detroit area.
He's locked in.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to think about. Man, I have to look for homes in the Detroit area.
Okay, I'm sure he's
I
looking
guess
for.
I'm a millionaire.
I'm sure
but
he's looking at homes in the suburbs of Detroit. He's not like saying in the.
you just got like the bougiest like Chinese restaurant. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
You know, whatever the Detroit answer is to Delco, that's where he's looking. Yeah.
They're hood rich. I just got eyes.
Yeah, we got the
that
death
would kill
threats.
a dead
Yeah.
man. That would kill a ghost.
All right, so let's bring it home here. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's put a nice little bow on it.
We got to put a really nice bow on this. So again, ignorant fan.
Mm-hmm.
What did we do in the draft that you just provided? We moved. We just moved picks, and we got a running back.
Yeah.
Is that the best scenario that you want?
Well, it's about the impact of what that guy's going to have
I
on
want
your team.
defense, Eric. What do you have to say against that?
Well, I will say a line from one of my favorite shows, Cobra Kai. Sometimes the best defense is more offense.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to hear from you all night.
Well, all right. We got it. Let's go.
I've never seen Cobra Kai because I'm not 40 or older, but
I hate you so much right now.
I heard it's a good show, but everyone that tells me it's good is 40 plus. So
Well, that's because we all grew up. We were like 10 years old when Karate Kid came out.
Karate Kid 2. 1, 2,
And 3.
3, and
I never saw the
and
other crap.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
But what I'm saying,
Which,
is,
by the
like,
way, that movie gets crapped on so much in all those like Cobra Kai
what I'm
Facebook
getting
groups.
at is, are we in a league now where just scoring points is just better than having a terrible defense? Like that you're going to sacrifice your team to just score points over preventing the other team from getting it.
All you're really looking to do on defense is can you get after the quarterback, and what you're doing on offense is can you score on each possession,
Each drive.
Yeah, like that's kind of where we're at now in the
impressive
NFL.
League. I mean,
it's a $1 billion league.
I love it.
Oh, it's fantastic,
dude. I thank you so much for doing this. With
Absolutely,
me,
man.
Just taking the time.
Hanging out on a Sunday at the Italian American Club. Thank you, everybody, for welcoming us here. Thank you.
Love you.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
Love you.
There's more applause. You just can't hear it.
Yeah, trust me. It's just not playing well in the room here with the.
There's too much going on for you to hear all the applause, but we're accepting it and
we appreciate their love. Yeah.
Thank you for everybody that commented, that liked, that shared, that has just watched. We appreciate it so much. And please follow
us on Facebook, Twitter.
Alliance,
yeah.
On Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram,
Snapchat, everything. Just follow us, like us.
And we're going to try to pay a couple bills here. We're going to talk about La Terrain watches. Thank you so much, La Terrain, the official sponsor of the Philly Sports Alliance. Go out, check out their site.
Dude, they got watches, they got sunglasses, they got tons of outerwear, and it's bling. It's drip.
It is straight fire, as the kids are saying these days. At least I think they're saying that.
No cap.
No
straight
cap.
Fire.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and check out law-terrain.com. Use promo code PSA for site-wide discounts.
Yeah, absolutely. And check out all of our shows. we've got shows on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like name
Basically
a day,
any
depends
night,
on
yeah.
why we got a show.
Yeah.
So check us out. We appreciate everybody.
Not us, not both of us.
No.
We only work specific days.
I actually don't work except for today. I haven't done a show in months, but but we appreciate everybody.
I feel like it's been months
listening.
since Ryan and I have been on the air. Ryan Reis and I. It
mean,
feels like we've been on the air like 3 times since the Super Bowl.
Bum, but,
I mean, me too. I was sick. I had a bad ear infection a couple of weeks ago. That had me down. Yeah, it was nasty. Yeah.
But thank you so much. We appreciate everybody joining in. I'm gonna say go Birds. Please tune in to the Football Smack Talk show tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
As I'm sure Ryan will be ready to break down and tell me how horrendous my mock draft was. I'm looking forward to that, actually.
I'm going to be somewhere around like 6:30 tomorrow night, but when I'm done, I cannot wait to hear Reese's comments on what just happened. What this hour and 20-minute menagerie of nonsense was. And it's...
You know what it was? It was a damn good time.
Wisdom mixed with my ignorance that made nonsense. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. I really do.
Thanks, Finn. It was a great time.
Thank you to the Italian American Club in Wayne, Pennsylvania. These people have been so accommodating, so kind, and we're very, very appreciative of their hospitality. So come check them out anytime you want. The Italian American Club in Wayne, Pennsylvania.
I mean, it's a private club, so you probably have to join, but yeah. But please do.
But you can check them out anytime you want.
Absolutely.
It's like a girl in the grocery store. Like I'm not going to say anything. But, no, I'm just kidding.
I cannot partake in any of that.
All right, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Have a great night. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
How many days until the start of?
Oh, geez, I haven't even looked. It's been a minute since I've looked.
2023-2024. How many days?
Well, funny. I know. Normally, I am on top of this, but so let's see. 137 days to go.
We'll be there.
Well,
if it's head up.
I think in 137 days that'll be the Thursday night opener in Kansas City. I think we will be in Kansas City. Yeah. All right, everybody, have a great time. Have a great night, and see you tomorrow.
And have a great time.
Yeah.